I'm a preacher and a politician, so don't give me a
That's
mic.
crazy.
Don't give me a mic, yo, because it's like, dude, I'm
They say
finna
you don't
come
mix
with
them,
it.
but he's mixing them.
No, you gotta mix them, man. You gotta mix them.
You need to.
You know, separation of church and state. No, what that meant. Jennifer McClellan and I talked about this. That was so no one could come over here and establish the Church of England or the Church of America.
Here we go.
What's up, guys? This is Brianna Moore, your host of the Conversations Unearthed podcast. Y'all, today, my guest is so fly.
How fly is he? I love it.
If you ever heard of the phone number 281-330.
8004.
Hit Mike Jones up on the low.
Because Mike Jones about to blow.
Oh my God. I already know how this episode about to go.
We don't have that Michael Jones. We have the Dr. Michael Jones, a proud Virginia native. Dr. Jones returned to Richmond from Arizona to pursue his calling in seminary after earning a Bachelor of Science in Sociology. I just want y'all to know who we got up here right now. He is a devoted father to his daughter, Jocelyn, UNC Chapel graduate, and his son, is it Jalen?
Jalen, yeah.
Jalen
Jones, yeah.
Pursuing an NFL career in Florida. Before answering his spiritual calling, Dr. Jones enjoyed a successful career in corporate America with Pepsi Cola and founded his own insurance agency. In 2005, he established the Village of Faith Church in Richmond, which has become a beacon of hope for the community. Inspired by his mother's transportation struggles, Dr. Jones founded the Cars for Christ program, which has provided not one, not two, not three, but over 65 cars to single mothers from diverse backgrounds. I don't know if y'all know anybody that gave somebody 65 cars.
Well,
but you might want to tune into the Conversations Unearthed podcast if you want to see one. So introducing Mr. Dr. Delegate Michael J. Jones.
Mike Jones.
Also.
Listen, no introduction
Heather's
needed
here
after
today.
that, but I am here.
Our co-host is here today. She's very busy as well, so I'm so happy to have you here.
Absolutely. I make time.
Yes. So we gonna start off light. I just like to say, I gave you a little bit of an introduction, but how would you introduce yourself?
That brother that was raised by a single mother that's trying to make everyone's lives a little bit better.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I heard you talking about your grandmother on I don't know if it was like a Black History Month city council meeting or something. But it was about her journal or her diary or something or scrapbook or something.
That was a point of personal privilege that I had last year on the floor of the General Assembly.
Okay.
And it was entitled "My Mother's Scrapbook." Because my mother and grandmother. My grandmother lived like 2 doors up from the Hippodrome in Jackson Ward. Right?
Okay.
And so coming up in the 40s and 50s, it was a different Richmond. It was a different Jackson Ward. Yeah. So, especially as I was out campaigning and just talking about what it was like to be in Richmond, and to learn, I didn't have to see white only and colored only pictures in scrapbooks. I saw that in, my mother's picture book. I didn't learn, I didn't see that in textbooks and things of that nature, right? So that was that, and this is no cap, right? It was in the family scrapbook,
right?
Like page 2, page 3, right after the naked pictures of the babies, right? they lay on the white sheet, which was like so suspect. But then after that, it's like, white only, colored only. And so, and to hear the, the dissidence in my mother's voice, she was like, yeah, we weren't drinking in those.
Yeah.
They was up, but, we didn't drink in those.
Yeah.
If anything, he was going to sneak and drink in that white one, then leave a little something behind, in that one. But that's what I talked about, what I saw in my mother's scrapbook versus everything else we saw in textbooks.
Yeah. And that I would just encourage people to go watch it because you got a pretty good, well-deserved standing ovation after it. I think it touched a few people. There were a few people who allergies started acting up at that time as well. So, but I really want to get into, like, I seen a few of your interviews. I saw you were on with Congresswoman McClellan. And y'all had like a fun little banter going on. So those are the type of things that I've seen about you, and obviously you're the delegate of the 77th district. But around here, Conversations Unearthed, we like to get into the mind, the body, the soul.
All right.
I want to know, who are you with when you love yourself the most?
Who am I with when I love myself the most? First, myself. Because most people can't stand to be by themselves. Or, just entertain themselves, right? And so I fell in love with going to eat, party of one, going to a movie.
What's the favorite place to eat here in Richmond?
Favorite here?
Yeah.
That's unfair. I think Richmond has some of the best restaurants.
All right, top 3.
In the area. One is Abuelita's on South Side.
Okay,
They're really dope. Of course, Southern Kitchen, Mama J's are right in there.
Okay.
Ronnie's Barbecue and ZZQ.
Oh my God, I love Ronnie's Barbecue.
And so, and Ronnie's out Route 5. He's in Rico, but ZZQ is in Richmond, right here in Scott's Addition. But I mean, there are so many great restaurants here in Richmond that it's tough to single out. But again, if you can learn to be by yourself, right? Because that's how we end up in all these toxic relationships and just in some bad situationships and staying where we're not supposed to stay for far too long. But can you hang with you first and foremost? And so I had to fall in love with me again. That, and again, especially when you have kids and all that stuff, your life revolves around them. Yeah. And then them jokers get grown and they gone. And they not trying to come back, and when they do, they ain't trying to sit up under you, right? And so they check in and check out, and they going doing their thing. And so, the biggest thing is, can you handle silence? Can you handle a room where it's just you, four walls, and whatever it is you're using to occupy your time?
That's a hard thing to do. It took me a bit of therapy to be able to do that. Of course, therapy and Jesus.
Yes, indeed.
A little bit of both.
I believe in both.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I believe in both.
And as a pastor, like I don't get to sit this close proximity to many pastors. I see them on the pulpit in front of the people and spitting bars and things, and I'm feeling it in my soul and my spirit. But you do so many things. I was talking to my mom this morning, and she said that you had a church in Verona. When you had that church, you used to help a lot of business owners. I don't know to what degree, but this is a financial podcast, so I kind of want to get into the help. Like, how did you help business owners?
One of the things that we always, and this is just something we always talked about at the Village of Faith, is that we wanted to own our own businesses, right? Because as long as someone is signing your check, you'll never be truly financially free.
Right.
You just won't. And so, we know the numbers of Black home ownership, how that's decreased over the past decade. Our folk are working, especially people I represent, city council and in the House of Delegates, they are legit working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet, right? And they still have more month at the end of their money. And so how do we get that freedom? How do we get that economic mobility to live our lives? And I fully believe that's when you are an entrepreneur, and you're not just getting it out the mud, but it's like I'm growing out of the ground, and I'm using the creativity and the skills and the networks that I have. And so we've just believed in that at the Village of Faith. One of my frat brothers asked me, he was like, well, man, if everyone in your church owns a business, well, who's going to work for them? And I'm like, bruh, everyone that goes to your church, we'll employ. And so we just used to do a lot of just organic things. Okay. All right. Who has jobs? Who has the say on jobs that you can make employment decisions. So we just have altar call and put this side with that side, and and then just highlight Black businesses, people that are doing things, And then most importantly, we spent our money with black businesses. And so those cars that we talked about, 60 some odd cars, man, shout out to my man Omar. Over on Williamsburg Road in Laburnum, city to city. Yeah. And so I'm talking about we'd go in and buy 4 and 5 cars at a time.
There you go.
Right? From him.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, people, buy black, man. I just buy from people I know, right?
Yep.
And so you can call it buying black or whatever, but if I can intentionally spend, the Village of Faith's money.
Yeah.
Right. So my realtor's black, our attorney's black, our CPA's black.
Yep.
Our other realtor is black. And so I just try to move in those circles and embody that. I'm not going to say, as a church we should buy black, and then I have a bunch of white folks supporting me in everything that I do personally, right? And so it's not that I don't do business with white folk or anyone else outside of the community. I'm just intentional in keeping those dollars here.
So walk us through how you found these connections with these attorneys, with these CPAs, with all of these black people, because sometimes you can't find them.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie though. They out there. You can find them if you want to find them, right?
Ooh.
And so when you're, and I mean, let me just give you this psychological trick. And this is why even finances is so mental. You ever bought a car because you thought it was the only car that was on the road? I don't see that many of them. But as soon as you buy it, you start seeing all of them.
Oh my God.
That is a psychological reality where your brain is blocking off things that you're not interested in to just filter the information that you're trying to use. So when you open up your mind literally to the notion of, I want to do business with black attorneys, black account. They'll just start popping up, and you'll start seeing them in your space, right? And I'm telling you, the universe, the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, they will start coming into your space.
Yeah.
And so that was just something that was always. And I'm telling you, that's why I brought my kids to raise my kids back in Virginia. I grew up in Southeast San Diego, right? And so that's where, that was the hood. That was like Broad Rock of San Diego. Most people, we going to San Diego. They're going to the white parts of San Diego, Mission Valley and La Jolla, Gaslamp. They're not going down in the hood. And so I only knew one black lawyer growing up, right? In South. And because again, I wanted to be that, but I never saw that. And so I'm like, nah, skip that. My kids finna see black lawyers, black doctors, black everything. And so, and this is no lie. Their pediatrician, black. Their dentist, black, right? Yep. Their accountant, black. And that was just something I was intentional in. And so because of that intentionality, you just begin to drag that into your space.
Yeah, I got you.
And so, no, there's a grip of black lawyers and black doctors and black dentists. Shoot, shout out to Waukesha, Waukesha, she does dentistry out in Chesterfield. Waukesha Benson, she's married to a doctor, Larry Benson. They the daggone Huxtables, right? And so he's an orthopedic doctor. Okay. And so they're out there. And so Dr. Benson, he sees my son. Whenever my son has an injury or issues, all right, man, we're finna go holler at Dr. Larry.
Yep.
And so, but by seeing these guys and seeing these folk, it knocks the mystique and, we can't do that. That's not what we do. No, Addie Briggs, fitness dog. Shout out to Addie Briggs, right? Black doctor, crazy as hell. I mean, she is a stone cold nut, a fool. But when she put that white jacket on, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap,
It's a wrap.
She got her business.
Oh, dude, it's a wrap.
Absolutely.
And that, for me, my daughter needed to see that. My son needed to see that. So when they're struggling, I'm like, you remember how foolish Dr. Addie is? But then when you go see him, that's what you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's for me, that's why it's important that our black babies see that, right? And because, again, everyone ain't going to dribble and make their way to the NFL.
God.
My son,
Yeah.
he was working on his NFL career till he got released by the New Orleans Saints. NFL stands not for long. That stands for not for long.
Yeah.
And so now he's getting ready for law school.
Okay.
Right?
Love
Took
it.
the LSAT.
That's up to him.
Took the LSAT and all these other things. And so he's applied. But the first thing I did, all right, dog, let's go introduce you to some brothers that's really doing this thing. Right?
Yeah.
Don Scott, the first African American Speaker of the House in the Virginia General Assembly. Don, hey, I need you to meet my son.
Yep.
And we went to Don's office, 14th floor at the General Assembly building, sat down, talked to Jalen, cussed him out. He was like, boy, you ain't serious. And I mean, and was just really, really
But we need that.
straight up with him.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God, we need it.
I really can't even say it on your podcast. He's like, bruh, you ain't serious about it. You BSing. If your daddy wasn't here, I'd light into your behind.
Ooh, I would have stepped out. The way I would have stepped out and been like,
No, I
son,
stayed
I'll
there
see
for
you in
his
a
safety
minute.
and for his safety and saying. But again, though, that, and my son walked away from it. He's like, dang, Dad, he that real? I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's that real. And because of Don, that's kind of how I decided where I wanted to sit on the floor in the General Assembly. And so, we were trying to figure out where we wanted to sit. I'm like, no, I want to sit in this seat right here so I can watch this man 24/7.
So y'all get to choose where you sit? You don't have to?
Based on seniority, yeah.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
So they came to me, and so they were, all the good seats in the back by the bathrooms, they was gone by the food, them jank. And so, you had Dolores McQuinn and John, they all back there. They got those.
They
folks with
like, nah,
seniority.
this is mine.
They got those seats, and so you see all the freshmen, we up front. But I'm like, all right, if I have to have a rough seat up front, I want to be front and center to watch his brother do his thing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I'm damn near in tears when this dude is up there operating. And so I wanted my son to see him that, dude, this dude, he's just like you.
Yeah.
Right? He came to my first launch for my campaign, Don Scott did. This dude coming in singing Mike Jones like verse for verse. Right? And so again, our kids need to see that, and that's what we try to put up at church. That you don't know who you sitting next to. That's why I get, like Jim McClellan and folk like that to fall through the village, so people can see these people, these black folk doing things at a high level.
Yeah. And a lot of times we just need to see that, like, hey, these people are regular people just like you. Like, they have a title, but they normal folk. Just so there is no, they not like us. No, they're just like us, right? And so that's why, because I got a lot of colleagues in the ministry. They may or may not open their doors up to politicians because it's such a holy space, and we got we don't want to break worship. But it's like, dude, this is our social media platform. I still reach a large number of black folk on a weekly basis, especially the ones who are, need to know. And of course, podcasts and everything of that nature, they're just going light speed. Yeah. But as far as getting out certain pieces of information, I can do that on Sunday morning and just expedite it. But again, to let them touch these folk, so I want them to see LeVar Stoney. Yeah.
That this is a young black dude. I mean, LeVar is so... you're talking about, dude, he's so black it ain't even funny, right? In that, raised by his grandmother, right? Dad was in prison, got out, and worked as a janitor, right? First in his family to go to college, and all these different things. And so, I want LeVar at the Village. Yep. I want him meeting the kids there. Yep. I want the governors and the people running. Jennifer McClellan's the first, black woman to represent Virginia in Congress. I want my kids to see that. Absolutely. I want everyone in our church to see that so they can dream big and know that they're just like everyone else.
I love that.
And for me, like, I always have my selfish questions, but I'm on a bit of an entrepreneurial journey right now. And I've been working with my people. Probably not at the level and caliber that you are, because you have a kind of your pick of the litter at this point, whoever you want to work with. And then they come with references to you. With somebody like me who's just starting, who doesn't really have somebody guiding them, sometimes you do get got. And I'm not going to say it's just by my people, but those are the people that I've been working with, and it's like disappointing to me.
Get got how? What type of game do they run?
Well, I'll talk about a specific deal. It's two. It's two really big deals, but one real estate deal that I had, we flipped a house, and the guy who was helping me flip it, I'm pretty sure he was not like telling me the truth about how much things really cost. So I feel like I got.
And he was a what? He was a what?
He was a contractor.
Contractor. Yeah.
Yeah. So
how much did it cost you?
It was. I feel like the construction probably was about $15,000, and I feel like he got about 30 out of me. Yeah.
Okay. And so here's the cool thing, right? Here's a way to reframe that. That's just tuition.
Yeah.
Expensive tuition, credits.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you're not gonna let that happen again.
No.
And that's, as an entrepreneur, I mean, dude, same thing happened to me, right? Where, this dude started a job, then quit the job. I mean, halfway through, this was right on Haynes Avenue.
You had already paid him.
Had already paid him. He's like, man, we'll use all the resources. I need another 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm handcuffed right into.
It's like I need it done.
I need it done, and so he worked me. He worked me like I was on the corner. He was like, man, you better have my money, right? And that's how I felt, right? Yeah. And not even the expensive high end. I'm like, dude, I'm like that $2 right there, right? I'm that $2 jang. I ain't,
$2 jang.
I'm just saying, but ain't no one else doing that again.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's hard for me because, like, when you work so hard for your money and then you feel like it's kind of like swindled underneath of you when you're trying to have ownership and trying to have equity and all of these things that people say is supposed to kind of take you away from the rat race and live the, I guess, American dream of working for yourself, doing for yourself, and then you kind of get took. So
yeah, but here's the thing: everybody has.
Everybody has. Yeah, that's true.
Everybody has had game. It's just like someone who thinks they ain't never been cheated on. Every last one of us been cheated on. Every last one of and I talk about this in church. Every man in here has had some woman that took their money. Don't even front. Every woman in here, I don't care how holy you are, you have some dude. I'm just saying,
hold on, you got to stop telling the congregation that. I don't
know, it's the truth.
Black woman sitting here, no, I don't think that's happening.
Oh, okay.
Just like what Charlamagne said, black men don't cheat.
Yeah.
No. But again, every woman done had someone cheat on them.
Right.
Every brother's had a woman cheat on them and take their money. Right? And so, cheat, just leave my money alone. But damn, you gonna cheat and take my money? Great day. And so there's nothing new under the sun. So, as an entrepreneur, dude, you gonna get got.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna run some game on you. Open your eyes up. Because there's just a lot of game out here. Yeah. And some you'll learn. Some you'll be taught.
Right.
And some you'll get got. And so you just take it and keep pushing.
It's a risk. It's just like the stock market. It's a risk you got to take.
You just keep, and then buyer beware. That it ain't gonna, you ain't gonna give me twice.
Yeah. Those contracts
you're not gonna
are
give me
extremely
twice.
important.
Yeah.
Make sure you got the language right.
But again, even with a contract, what, you gonna take me to small claims court?
True.
Where you gonna end up spending more time and more money and more resources, and your project still ain't done? And so dang, okay, then I got to pay an attorney X amount.
Yep.
You know what? All right, now we're talking about cutting losses and all these different things. Yep. So the basic thing that you need is a team.
Yep. Yeah.
That, as an entrepreneur, you better have an airtight team. So my team was built of an accountant and an attorney, and then a realtor. I've got 3 on speed dial.
Yeah.
Right? 3 on speed dial. And it might be snowing right now, so Donnie ain't on the golf course. But if I reached out to Donnie, I'm getting a call back, like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
My realtors, they on speed dial. If I reached out to them, I'm getting a call back.
So you're investing in real estate.
What's that?
Are you a real estate investor?
Everything I do is real estate.
Everything
right?
you do. Okay.
Think about it. We just paid off our East Campus.
Wow.
2 summers ago.
How long did it take you to pay it off?
We got that in 20. Dude, when did we get that?
Took less than 30 years.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. We started in 2005. We moved into these spots like 2010.
Okay.
Wow.
So we're talking less than 15 years. We're talking.
Yeah.
So tell the people the strategy, because a church building is just
it's real estate. It's real estate.
It's the same thing. So tell people the strategy.
I approached it as that. I had a guy from the Timmons Group. Again, your team, right? And because as an entrepreneur, you have to have your hands some of everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And you just have access to different disciplines and fields and all that fun stuff. And so met this cat that worked with the Timmons group. He's like, hey man, let me sit down and he put me up on helped me see the real estate game from a different side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And so the whole key of tying up land. And that's one thing white folk do really, really well. Mm-hmm. They know how to put land under contract and let it sit.
Yep.
And how to leverage that. And so he sat back and just taught me all this. He's like, Mike, as a church, stop buying all this A real estate. You should be getting C and D because you're a destination, yada, yada, yada. And so we did a mix of that, right, where we owned land on Darbytown Road in Laburnum.
Oh, wow.
Bought another spot out in Sandston, off of Williamsburg and Early. Mm-hmm. Then we got our biggest parcel, 18 acres in Chesterfield. Oof. Right off of, Pathway Progress, Hall and Genital. So we bought a whole strip mall.
Right.
Strip mall and old movie theater.
And you say we, so you had a team of,
the village. The village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was something I let him in. I'm like, here's what we're going to do. And that was something I couldn't do if I was at a Baptist church, right?
Yeah.
Because,
what denomination is the church?
We're non-denominational. Okay. And so, very small board and I get to do what I say.
There you go.
And what I want, right? I have full control. But again, I don't touch the money. Mm-hmm. I don't, the accountant, treasurer, they handle all that stuff. But as far as the direction of what we gonna do and how we gonna move, that's me, right? Yeah. And so I'm free to, to use what God is downloading to me and what I feel and what I see and what I sense, and we just move at light speed. And so we got a deal for that Genital and Hall property. If I can get just 2 more of those in my lifetime, I'm good.
Good.
Because we were able to assume a note and just step in for like 10% down, commercial.
Oh, wow.
You got to do 30, 25, 30% down. And we were able to do 10 down.
How are you doing 10 down? Hold on.
Can't tell you that.
Okay. Can this be an offline conversation? Can we talk about this off the podcast? I'm trying to get the information.
It's there. I will tell you off.
We will talk about it
offline.
off mic. I'm not mad at that.
And so people make churches something that they shouldn't be, right? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. We ain't building nothing to God's glory. And that dude, that right there, that's his footstool right there, which y'all may not see on the video.
Yeah.
On the screensaver, there's the earth, the picture of the earth, right?
Yeah.
That's his footstool. So you think I'm building something that's really tripping, like, ooh, it's like kind of like the gifts you gave your parents when you was in like 2nd grade. Mama, look, oh, that's nice, baby.
That's nice.
And she said, you ever go back and look at it like 20 years later, like,
what was I doing? What was that?
Yeah. And your mother was so nice, right? And so for me, everything is used for the upbuilding of the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And deifying buildings, I think there's something demonic in that. It just is. And so churches are accumulating buildings, but people are broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their communities are failing and the kids ain't reading at grade level, but they got 5 campuses and they've got all these different things and they handing out candy and all these, but dude, your folk ain't at grade level. They're not reading at grade level.
With that point, let's go back to, you said you are helping people in your church, the entrepreneurship journey. A lot of times we're like, okay, this is your passion, start this business. But what else are you pouring into them to sustain their business, to keep their businesses alive longer than the 5 years? Because a lot of small businesses shut down before 5 years. So what else are you doing to pour into them?
I think the biggest thing is to model it, right?
Yeah.
Because what they're sitting in when they worship, they're sitting in an entrepreneurial dream and a vision, the manifestation of something that was non-existent, and it manifested and came into existence, and it thrived.
Right.
Right. And so, so if they just watch me and what I do, and again, everything is a lesson, everything is a learning. So just, watch me move, right?
Yeah.
What am I doing? and how am I doing? How am I flowing? And then a lot of it is you just got to use wisdom. You know, you're not going, if you're just trying, you know, and a lot of people join churches, because I originally joined church back in the day to try and network and farm and do my thing, you know, but I found out everyone's trying to go to the black church. Can we start a business directory? And can we do this? And can we do that? You know, and so they're just using church for that versus, man, get spiritually fed, get ideas, open up your mind, build your faith, and then have corresponding action. Yeah. Get to work. And I just tell the story of the village. Dude, I'd be up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning online. And this was 20 years ago when we founded the village. And so there wasn't as much, even though the internet was the internet, it ain't like today's internet. No, it just wasn't. And so, man, I'm just online, like who's doing what, where, how they're approaching it. And so, man, hey, don't reinvent the wheel. Yep. Find somebody that is doing what you're doing at a high level. Find someone that's doing what you're doing at your level, and find someone who is doing what you're doing below your level. And so because again, the people that are just starting, they're on a whole new different set of trends. Yeah. Right? People that are doing what you're doing, y'all are doing some of the same things. People that are at a different level, they are just at a different stratosphere, right? Yeah. So church-wise, so I'll look at, you know, a Mount Zion down in Nashville, Joseph Walker. You know, here locally, man, I'll look at a Vernon Gordon, you know, the Life Church. They're doing Speaking Spirit. Yeah. And then I'll look at some of these newer churches, right? Mike Hathaway, seeing some of the things that they're doing. And press on Lance Watson, what Lance is doing. Yeah. You know, Lance is the godfather of all this stuff. You know, there's nothing new. You know, like the Life Church, Speaking Spirit, I can all say where they got their stuff from. Say what they want, right? Say what they want. Just like I got what I got from somewhere else as well.
So how'd your journey start though? So I heard you say that you joined a church, you went and you were looking for networks, but then now we're a pastor. How'd you transition into that?
Well, you know, we got to start back before that, right? Yeah. Where after college, you know, went to work at Pepsi-Cola, did the corporate thing, and I saw that I was being woefully underpaid for what I was good at doing, what I was able to do. And so my area vice president, Dave Evans, his younger brother was a State Farm agent. And he just, we don't know about these things as black folk, right? And so it's like, dude, insurance agents, especially back in the 80s and 90s, these folk was making a grip. Chilling. Yeah. Them residuals rolling right in, boy.
I know a few people that are out there and they are
big pimping. Yeah. You know, while they at home chilling, them things just coming in, right? And so I'm like, all right, bet I can do that. I'm a bet on me. And so I left corporate and started an agency. Couldn't get in with State Farm. Got in with farmers. Started with 0 policies, ran it to 1,000 in less than a year. Wow. Betting on me. And again, it's simple. You ask people, what do you need to do to be successful? And you don't deviate. You accelerate. You put your foot on the gas and don't let up. And that's the difference between me and your average listener. Yeah. I'm sorry. They dude, come get with me. Right? I have bags under my eyes for a reason.
They're not that. I'm looking at them.
Oh, girl, but trust me, I had to do some of this and get it right? But there's a reason, because it's like there is no stop, and it doesn't mean, you know, all gas, no brakes, and there are no days off, because we need time off, right? And we can't let sickness be the only time that we are getting rest. But you know, so that stoked my entrepreneurial, you know, vision and quest, because shoot, I'm a bet on me. If they're betting on me, you know, using my name, using my influence, using my charisma to grow their brand, and they just giving me $30,000 a year and want to give me a 3% raise, no, I'm good. Let me go somewhere where, you know, based upon what I grow, I eat. Yeah. And so that's what I did. And then, you know, I went into started going to church. Yeah. Started going to church, First Institutional Baptist Church in Arizona. And black churches, man, dude, they're entrepreneurial. They're businesses and business minded in and of themselves. That's the only way they're going to survive. And so ask the question, God, what do you want me to do? And I just really felt a call to go into the pastoral ministry. And so, you know, my pastor, he was seminary trained. He was like, look, man, if Jesus spent 30 years getting ready for a 3-year ministry, you can spend 3 years getting ready for a 30-year ministry.
Wow.
So,
That's
you know, loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly, right? So I came back to Virginia Union because my people were from here. And I did the white undergrad experience. So I wanted to go to a HBCU and get that flavor. Yeah. And since I was going to be preaching to black folk, let me have black folk teach me how to preach to black folk. So I came back home, started candidating because, man, I ain't never going to rest. You know, I want to do admin called to preach. So I'm trying to preach. I ain't trying to wait. And so got called to a church, got caught up in the work, job, corporate ladder side of the church, right? You get the small country church, then you get the small city church, then you be like Lance Watson and get the big city church,
mega church,
the mega church, and then it's like, man, I've just fallen into the same thing that Pepsi got me in, because I was at a church, man, bless their heart, dude, I baptized like 100 folk in 1 year. I'm like, can I get a raise? They're like, no, you ain't do nothing. I'm like, man, I baptized more folk,
right?
And y'all ain't trying to give me no money.
See the people we brought in?
I'm like, I'm good. And so I had some friends down in Georgia that had started churches and went through the same thing I did. Gary Hawkins, of Voices of Faith down in Stone Mountain. And so he was like, man, dude, you need to bet on you.
Yeah.
And so even in church, you can learn not to bet on you. And so I'm like, nah, skip that, dude. I'm finna bet on me. And so started the Village of Faith in an elementary school.
Okay.
And again, entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
I'm just online. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? Gary had a book called, you know, How to Market Your Church. Man, read that thing 15 times. And then just started looking at all this stuff. And all I did was what he did on steroids.
Okay.
And we just grew like that. We moved out of Varina Elementary, moved to Varina High School. A year after that, we launched in another elementary school in Chesterfield. And so now I'm just doing an entrepreneurial thing, right? Yeah. So you never build a church where you never place a church where they wouldn't put a McDonald's. And it was a franchisee model where, because we had a parish model from the old Catholic church.
Tell me more about you never place a church where they wouldn't put a McDonald's, because we're not just going to like drive past that. I need to hear.
Tom Rainier wrote a book talking about church planning. And he, you know, just to have a critical mass of individuals, you never put a church where they wouldn't put a McDonald's. Because again, McDonald's isn't in the hamburger business.
Right.
Ray Kroc, they're in the real estate business, right? Yeah. And so, you know, so that was our mindset. That was our shift. So that's why we bought the 14 acres on Darbytown and Burnham, because you could put a McDonald's there. Now that's why we got Genito and Hull, because there's a Burger King and McDonald's right down the street.
Okay.
And so we got that. We got off to our start. And so it was just this entrepreneurial mindset. And so that's why, I mean, I can't preach absent of my authentic self without sharing this whole entrepreneurial drive. Because a lot of the stories in the Bible, if not all of them, is about an entrepreneur that stepped out, right? Whether it was Abraham, whether it was Joshua, whether it was all these folk, they stepped out on a dream and was terrified. Most people are punks. They ain't heard from God, because if you ain't scared after you listen to God, then you probably ain't heard from God.
Yeah.
A vision should scare the hell out you.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
It just should, man. Because
we scared right now.
And again, that's how you know you're in that God space, right? Yeah. Now you're out there, you know, you out there with them sea lions, you out there with the seals, with the whales, right? And dude, your thing is in tune, right? There's an algorithm on your screensaver. But no, dude, if you're not afraid, if you can touch the bottom of the pool, you ain't swimming.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man, dude. I'm from the hood. You don't swim down where the little kids peeing. I'm trying to go down to 12 feet where there ain't a whole lot of folk.
No, for real.
There ain't a whole lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Ain't a whole lot of traffic in the deep end. There's not. And so when we went to the pool, it's like, all right, man, hey, I'm finna pass this swim test to show I can go down to the deep end.
Yeah.
Back, float. Bet we in 12 feet and beyond. Yep. And so, so
you're
for
not
you,
talking about a swim test at the Boys and Girls Club, are you?
any swim test,
Okay.
But any pool you go to, right? As kids, you had to show that you could swim.
Right.
So you'd have to swim down and back, then you have to float.
Yeah.
And so, man, I ain't getting down in that water with them. And so we need to have that same mindset with our finance. We need to have the same mindset with doing business. Stop going down there with the kids, in the overcrowded pool when they little swimmers and they peeing down there.
Yeah.
Get down there with the big dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where we swimming. Oh, what up? Oh, we got a new fish over here. What up, though? Let me tell you about what we doing. Right? And find a way to get the whales to swim in your space or to allow you to swim in their space. So that's why I took my son up to the 14th floor. Let's go talk to a whale.
Yeah.
Do you feel like more now that our people are trying to help each other more than ever, or are you still seeing people where it's like, all right, why are you bringing our people down? Everybody can win.
You're always going to have that because the world is filled with mediocre people. Right? The world is always
black or white.
Yep.
Black, white, whatever else. Especially, I thought that all white folk were smart till I went to the University of Colorado.
Well.
And it's like, dang, you dumb as fence post. But again, they do a great job of gatekeeping some of these spaces.
They do.
And creating these narratives that white ice is colder, white books read better than black books.
Yeah.
But no, they're just as mediocre as some of our folk. And so because we haven't been exposed to some of these things, we're not hearing a lot of these stories and being socialized in some of these environments. So I tell my son all the time, I'm like, look, dude, I didn't have my dad was an awesome cat, right? Went to Armstrong High School right here in Richmond. Yeah. Dropped out at 17. Got his GED on a boat with the Navy. Became a Navy SEAL. Really did the daggone thing, right?
Yeah.
And so he was the first group of SEALs that made the transition from basic underwater demolition to sea, earth, air, and land, right?
Okay.
And so, and so I grew up in that household, but my dad was gone all the time. And then he died when I was 22. So my dad wasn't there to really tell me about business, about government work, about all these different things. And so, I'm telling, or really how to move in these corporate settings, right? I didn't get that. I didn't get that mentorship from my father, right? On how to grow the hell up and stop acting like this. You 22, man, dude, let's get it. Right? And so my son is getting that. And so it was just some basic tips I was trying to give my son. You want to argue with me? I'm like, all right, whatever, dude.
It's cool.
And so I said, I'm just going to say this, I'm just going to say this and be done with it. Yeah. And so then he called me, he called me the other day. He's like, hey, man, I just want to tell you something. I can give credit where credit is due. I did what you told me to do. And then I got a call back from these folk saying, dang, appreciate your initiative, yada, yada. I'm like, well, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I'm like, son, that's my job.
Yeah.
To help you hit this easy button in life.
Yeah.
To let you know how not to be mediocre, because, even the people that he's working for, he's working for some young go-getters.
Yeah.
And they champs and chumps don't talk the same. We really don't. So I'm trying to change my son's vernacular and how he talks and how he approaches things. And that's the thing that makes me hit my head against the wall.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time for folk who are looking for a way to get out of work.
Yeah.
I'm looking for folk that, because I'm not easy to work for.
Okay. Why not?
Because hell, I'm driven. I'm getting stuff downloaded at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're gonna wake up to text messages and emails that you got to get it going and let's go. And I'm looking to slay the dragon, and you up here trying to just run away and take the eggs, and how can I make me some omelets? I'm like, no, we having dinosaur wings tonight, so let's go get this thing.
Yeah.
But I can't stand mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can't handle folk that don't want to work and work hard and create and help the vision and think they know more than they do. And then they, you can ask questions without questioning, without questioning me.
Right.
Well, why are we doing this way? Look, I need you to make a phone call. Don't send a text or an email. Pick up that phone and call them. Right. Y'all, anyone y'all do business with, have their personal numbers as close to their hip as you can get. Mm-hmm. Right? Whoever I've been texting, who did I text?
Me.
You got my hip.
Yeah. Okay.
Lock it in. Yep. Right? Yeah. Lock it in and do what you want with it, right?
Yeah.
And so get folks' numbers because I'm looking at a way, when I go into a store and shop, I'm not looking up, all right, eggs on this. No, forget that. Hey, where can you tell me where the eggs, where the meat, where all this stuff is? I'm going to ask you because and you're going to help my time in this store.
So
I ain't got, and I don't have time. And that's my approach to life.
Wow.
That is my approach to life. Who can I talk to help expedite my journey?
That's it.
To get me from point A to point B. Right? And that's it.
We don't gotta know everything. You just gotta understand your lane and what you know, and everybody else can get the thing done for you, honestly.
And you touched on something that I want to go back to, because you said you were in a fraternity.
Yeah, still in.
I'm sorry, are in a fraternity. And the thing that I'm learning,
obsessed.
I'm obsessed with fraternities and sororities right now. I didn't know Martin Luther King was in a fraternity.
Was an Alpha.
He was an Alpha. Is it
Alpha Phi Alpha?
Thurgood Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these blackity black figures, very successful, moving the needle, like just out of this world, just iconic, are in fraternities and sororities.
Yeah.
What made you pick that fraternity? When did you pledge? Did you pledge at Union?
No, I pledged undergrad, University of Colorado.
Spring
86, Beta Theta, ain't none greater. The Rocky Mountain
my
Elite
age in this, because we got the heavy hitters over here.
Hey,
you said 86?
Spring 86. Okay. I am that old head we used to talk about. Why did I pledge? I pledged. Yes. I didn't know about black fraternities growing up.
I'm just learning about it this year. Last year.
The first black, HBCU band was, Texas Southern. They came and played in San Diego my summer going to college. Mm-hmm. And then, on my recruiting trip, I met a bunch of Kappas that played football at the University of Colorado. Learned more about it once I got there, pledged my freshman year.
Okay.
But I did it to stay connected to who I was.
Yeah.
Right. And to my blackness. There were only 300 people on University of Colorado's campus, 300 black people. We were less than 1% of the student population. And they still are to this day, right? And so for me, it was a way to stay grounded. So, and then as I learned more about what we were doing, excelling in every field of human endeavor, the Kappas, we were the ones on the football team, we held up the GPA. We were the ones graduating early.
Wow.
Yep.
We were the ones that were about our business. We were the ones balling out, right? And so, and we were just about that life.
Absolutely.
And I mean, dude, it was like, I was surrounded by these cats.
Yep.
Right? And so Kevin Cork, Google him, NBC Nightly News on the White House correspondent, now with Fox News. Killing it, right?
Yeah.
Solomon Wilcox, ESPN, CBS sideline reporter, killing it. And these are all cats that, dude, Solly was on my line, right? Cork, wow. He pledged. And so we had all these different guys. Mickey Pruitt, he is like over all of Chicago public schools athletic departments. And so these are my friends, right? These are my frat. And these are the cats that kept a foot in my ass. Right? When my dad wasn't there. And I told my son, I said there was 2 to 3 cats that kept a foot in my ass from 21 to 27 and kept they foot on my neck. These guys were borderline abusive and cruel. they were.
Yeah.
Because I was so immature.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of these guys, Solomon had his dad in his life. JJ had his dad in his life. Tate had his dad in his life. Anthony Lee had his dad in his life. And they moved different. And they were like, bruh, you need to quit tripping. And they kept, I'm telling you, and I love them dudes to this day.
Yeah.
Right? For who they were in my life to get me to grow the hell up.
Well, what was something that you realized that happened and you were like, they knew you were tripping, but you didn't? Like, what is something that you will never forget?
How selfish I was. We were online. We were all starving. I found this deal on hot dogs. I went and got 10 hot dogs and ate all them jokers by myself. And they was ready to skin me alive. I think I brought back like one. And it just showed me how selfish I was.
Okay.
And they will remind me of that to this day.
Wow.
And that was just and again, I was probably one of the youngest ones online.
Yeah, because you were a freshman.
Right? I was a freshman. Absolutely. I was young. I was like just fresh, 17, just turned 18. And I was online with cats that was 19, 20, 22.
They knew a few things.
And they knew a lot of things. And I mean, dude, JJ was the CFO for Shamrock Foods in Arizona. Okay. Left that, started his own liquor store, his own restaurant and pub. And so these are the guys that I was around.
Right.
And that we watch each other move. And then you connect with other Kappas in other areas that are doing their thing at a high level. And so we just try to keep pace with each other. We don't hate on each other.
Nope.
We don't hold each other back. We just do it and just
it's
keep
motivation.
Going.
Honestly, it's motivation to see it. Like, oh, you grinding and you doing more? All right, let me put on my
you're talking about a battery and so a lot of it is, man, I'm posting stuff online. Dude, so my frats see me back, back home. No, real talk. Yeah. And it's like, hey, Grape Ape turned out right. That was my line name, Grape Ape. Grape Ape. He's a wonderful guy. Grape Ape. And so that Grape Ape is killing it now. And so, and so you look at the Kappas and the Omegas and the Alphas that are just killing it in life. We are. We are, right? And that is, that Larry Benson, the orthopedic guy, he's a Kappa, right? We're frat. And so we all, just by that aura of being who we are, by existing, my mere presence challenges them. Their mere existence challenges me. And I got to get on my game and stay on my game. And so, again, flip it over to the AKAs, right? To the Deltas and, the SG Rows and the Zetas. They're all doing their thing. Absolutely. And so, we just, and again, some might do it to network and all that stuff. The rest, I did it again to stay, down with my blackness and to remain culturally relevant. That's why I did it back in the day. Okay. And so,
All right, let's take a quick break real quick because I got to
process
all of these things, and we're going to be right back. All right, guys, and we are back with Mr. Delegate of the 77th District. 7 is the number of change. Did you pick that number?
8 is the number of change. 7 is the number of completion.
You right.
You're right.
Yeah.
We'll have fact checkers here on Conversations Unearthed.
I'm not gonna let you be out there and be wrong.
I appreciate
Dang, he knew that. Why didn't he say something?
Right.
So folk are hitting you all up in your comments. 7 is not the number.
Yes, I appreciate
and
that.
they be on their stuff, dude.
Man,
yeah.
Well, look, we go do a real talk question.
Okay.
Real spiel, real deal, and then we go wrap it up with your favorite quote and what book you reading right now.
And I am not prepared.
So, my real talk question is, when was the last time you forgave yourself?
Shoot, last year.
Okay.
Last year. Because we're not perfect. No one is. And we make mistakes.
Right.
And I think there's something so spiritual and cool about being able to forgive yourself. David recognized, in the midst of all of his mess, he was like, against you, Lord, against you only have I sinned. Right? So, you got people, you owe me an apology. I owe God an apology. If you're around to get it, that's cool. Make amends, that's fine. But then it's like, okay, I've sinned against you, God. You've forgiven me, so now let me forgive myself. Why am I going to hold on to something that God has let go of? And that's what I'm trying to get my son to fully understand and church to fully understand. God really ain't condemning us the way we think he is. And we're holding back, we're holding ourselves back because of the guilt that we harbor because of the dirt we've done. And once you just come to grips with the fact that you ain't shit, you can actually elevate and do something. You walking around thinking that you all this and all that, dude, you human.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gonna make mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, especially parents, I don't believe my child did that. It's a kid. Dude, I'm waiting for the mistake. Right? And so no, I'm not, dude, you're in relationship with frail beings and fickle beings that are selfish and self-centered, and they're gonna do things. And so we have to learn to continually forgive ourselves. Right? And so I'm always forgiving me because I love me.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, dude, God, hey, I had issues, man. And so I'm good. I'm good. I will. And again, you'll have people in your life that want to guilt you into feeling, that painful experience repeatedly.
Yeah.
And they will get upset at you for forgiving yourself. And how dare you? You hurt me and you don't know the pain that you caused. Baby, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
I really don't. I apologized to you last month, last year, last lifetime.
But I had to move on from that.
I feel for you.
Yeah.
I'm good. And I tell people, I don't know I really don't know what to do with that. I don't.
Yeah.
And so some people only want to talk about the mistakes that you've made and how you've hurt them. And if we're really cool, we're not going to talk about it. If we really love each other and in this loving relationships, it's all good. And we'll keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I just heard another pastor talk about that on the Breakfast Club. I was preparing for this interview, so I was watching.
And you was watching the Breakfast Club
interviews.
With Charlamagne the God.
I love him. I love his interviews. But he was just said the exact same thing. Like he took it a little more extreme. He was like, "Yeah, I know you might have had some embezzlement issues, but you got it." I was like, "Wait a minute, might not be the right."
but again, though, the reality is this, though, right? We still will rank the misdeeds.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
True.
One is the same as the other.
And you messed up. You messed up.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and hold mine at a higher level than yours. And so that's why I just have a short attention span, a short fuse for folk that want to bring that type of nonsense into my space.
Yeah.
Time for that. All right, let's end it off with our favorite. I'm surprised you didn't ask your question.
Oh, I didn't.
You gotta ask your question.
Yeah, we gotta go back. She always says that we're ending, and then
we be recording.
Never ending. Okay.
Just so you're clear around here, thinking you're about to go feed the kids.
That's all right.
It's not really happening yet. So the question we always ask is, because it's a financial literacy podcast, is what was your first relationship with money? What's your first memory with money that you remember?
Boy, you better not touch that. You better not touch that. Understand, and I'm not gonna lie though. Why are you buying that to put someone else's name on your chest or on your butt? I didn't know whether that was just my mama not having money and not wanting to buy that, or putting me up on game. Why are you so quick to wear a name brand that you ain't getting paid from?
Come on, and not knowing what's behind these name brands, because they doing a lot of dirt sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? And I came from the Sassoon jean and the Levi's and the Jordache jeans, and when Nike was breaking on the scene back in the day. And my mom was like, I'm not buying you that. I got my first pair of Nikes in college.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
In college. And guess why?
You bought them yourself.
They were free.
Oh, they were free.
Ooh.
Oh,
Sports gave them to you.
I was getting paid to wear them.
Yep.
wow.
I love it.
Even though that was a part of my college, scholarship package, I was getting paid to wear them.
Wow.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
My mom only got me 2 pairs of sneakers a year. One at the beginning of the beginning of fall, and then in January, and that was it.
Then on the other spending side, my dad, my dad, he just paid cash for everything. He tried to pay cash for everything, right? And I saw that the power that was in that, and then the respect white folk gave him. Oh, how are you going to pay for that? My dad was just flex cash. You got an issue? Yeah. And so, but my dad taught me the one thing of buying quality.
Yeah.
And he would get frustrated. He was like, you work to purchase the things you want. And don't sit here and say, it's too expensive. Or daddy, that's too expensive. That's too this. That would frustrate him and anger him because one, he's like, you don't know how much money I got.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but he's like, don't buy this because if you buy this, it's going to wear out and you're going to have to buy it again next month. So we're going to get this over here because this will last you a year or two.
Yeah.
And so I shop like that now, right? If I were to tell you how old these shoes are, no, real talk. I mean, these are like 2-3 years old.
They still look good.
Right? 2-3 years old. These jeans, right? I mean, I have dress shirts, 5, 6, 7 years old. You can't tell why. Got them tailored, got some good material. Still got it still didn't break the bank doing it.
Yeah,
but it wasn't Dillard's or Macy's and nothing like that.
Yeah,
and so I have good shirts, and so I have good suits, and so. So that's what my dad and my mom taught me about money. Yeah. First off, don't spend it on stupid stuff.
Because most of the time you spending it just trying to impress people
that don't like you anyway.
Come on,
that don't like you anyway.
That don't like you anyway.
Half of them don't, or they
and
don't
so
like
and I tell folk at church, I'm like, y'all know this 4 years old. Y'all know these same brown shoes Pastor been wearing all. And so I tell we did one thing one year in church. The No New School Clothes Challenge.
Oh, Lord.
And dude, we had our kids posting that and hashtagging No New Clothes.
Wow.
And we made that the hip thing to do.
Wow.
And what we did, we handed out gift cards at the end of 60 days of school. Can you wear last year's clothes this new school year? Because they were we do stuff for our kids because we just love and we that's what we do. We'll go into debt and hurt ourselves financially trying to make sure our kids got right. And so I'm like, kids, give your parents the permission to not buy you anything new. And we had kids going in on that.
Wow. I love it.
And so we did that 1 year.
Y'all got some mature kids.
But we made it fun. One of the kids that went ham, one girl, she went ham. We ended up giving her a new car, or not a new car. We ended up giving her one of those cars because I had adults tripping that were not a part of the church. Our goal was to make sure no woman at the Village of Faith, single mom, didn't have a car. And then we ran out of single moms at our church that didn't have cars, so we started giving them out to the community, right?
Ooh, wow.
And so this one sis, just ignorant, her attorney called us. We gave her a tour. We feel our client deserves a newer car.
What?
If you don't get off, exactly.
Click.
If you don't get off my phone, I gave them to to one of our guys. I'm like, look, y'all need to handle this and it just made me so incensed that adults would be that
ungrateful. Ungrateful, yeah.
And so I'm like, bet. And this is the cool thing about calling the shots. Bet I'm giving it to a high school student because they're going to do flips when we give them a car without a car note.
You give me a car right now. I don't care what it is.
dude. And so one of our teens that did the no school, no new clothes challenge just went ham on it, and she just had that spirit, always helping, always happy, always.
Yeah.
We brought her up to the pulpit. Says we're giving you a car this year.
I love it.
Oh, Jesus.
And dude, she rode that thing around high school and into college.
She was grateful.
And she was grateful. She was grateful.
Yeah.
But again, those are the things I'm trying to do as a pastor, leading a congregation.
Yeah.
Let me really help y'all. Kids, we wasting money. We should not go into debt celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. Worst case, you should be given to the church because the Magi gave gold, frankincense, and myrrh to Jesus. And y'all robbing Jesus to buy some Tyco stuff, right?
No plan at all. They just out here like, we just going to spend it all. And I'll figure out rent on the first.
Well, look, I got one more question. See, I know this is my last question. This is my last question because these fires in LA is going on right now. And I think about the Bible when I think about that because I know at first the Bible was, what did it say? Noah's Ark came because the Lord flooded the earth. And they said the next time the Lord come, he go destroy the world by fire. And now it's these wildfires in LA. I really want to know your perspective on this.
I think,
is it the last days?
It's always been the last days.
That's what
I think we've been in the last days for the past few years since COVID.
No, we don't know what the last days are, right? And so Paul talked about the fact, Jesus talked about the fact, no one knows the day nor the hour that the Son of Man will return. Yeah, there's some markers and people are going to try that, but stop it. Stop it. It's bad Bible. It just is.
Nobody knows.
Here's the thing. And Jesus told this wonderful story, right? They came as disciples. They came and asked him. They were like, hey, who sinned, this man or his father, that he was born blind, right? Because they always equated, these maladies and circumstances with sin of someone, yourself or your family, right? So who's sinful? And so Jesus told this beautiful story. He was like, do you remember the Tower of Siloam, right? The Tower of Siloam. Do you remember when that fell, right? Were they any more sinful than us? Do you remember when Pilate mingled the blood of the protesters? Were they any more sinful than us? Just showing that we just escaped some bad situations, that they're no worse than us. California's been dealing with fires.
Yeah.
It just has been since forever, right? When you look at the terrain, when you look at everything, it's just always been. And then you just had a wind that hit and fire did what fire does. Do you think they're any more sinful than Virginia, than D.C., than the Confederate South, these racist jokers that still exist out here, right?
Yeah.
Do you think they are any more? That's what Christians do, some mean, hateful, stupid, ignorant things. I saw a cloud and it looked like a man pointing and the tornado missed our city and went to another one. How is that God?
Can't be.
How's that God, right? Yeah. And then we say dumb things at funerals. It was God's will that, man, dude, I ain't trying to hear God's will. And I upset some folk at someone's, dude got killed. Dude got killed. He was a local photographer, cool dude. Got killed, riding his motorcycle. And people up here, and I got up and I looked at the family because you about to tell a kid that God took their daddy. And I looked at the kid. I said, dude, this was a tragic accident. Tragic accident. God's will for us is to have a long and fruitful life. Tragedy happened. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't put it off on God. God signed off on it. Really? So God has got ink on my suffering? We're just trying to deal with theodicy, right?
Yeah.
Understanding why bad things happen to good people. That's why you have the poem of Job, right? The poetry of Job and all that happened to him. Right? And so we're just trying to ration. No, man, dude, in this life you will endure tribulation.
Yep.
Bad stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
Jesus said, fear not, I've overcome the world. In other words, we going to get through this.
Yep.
Right.
That's it.
We going to get through, we going to make it until it ends. And that's so, we try to spiritualize everything to try and deal with loss, suffering, and to make it all make sense. If you're born of a woman, you gonna die. And there's no easy way to leave the planet.
Yeah.
There's an old vaudeville comedian. How do you want to die? In my sleep of old age.
Yep.
There's no easy way to leave this planet.
Yeah.
There isn't. But I know this. Did 52 funerals in 1 year. 52. It's a lot. I needed therapy after that.
Yeah.
On the way back from a funeral, a car hit a pole hit a lady. She bled out right in front of my parking spot. You get old enough, you get sick enough, you're going to be ready to leave this planet. You will ask to leave. You will beg God to take you.
Yeah.
Get sick. I mean, get really, really sick enough. Or get
like,
old enough where you've lost so much that you just become numb to life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? My grandmother buried both of her kids. All of her all of her brothers and sisters. Man, she was so numb to pain.
Yeah.
She was so numb to life, died at 93. So numb.
93.
Stay around long enough.
Yeah,
Stay around long enough, dude. You're going to be ready to make peace with this world and see what's beyond.
That was
Yeah,
powerful.
I don't even need to go to church no more for the next.
Okay.
No, go to church. Give it time. Give it all. I don't want your pastor talking about me. No, you ain't getting church anyway.
That was not enough to. I still need some more. It was enough for today. You poured into right there.
Indeed.
I'm feeling fulfilled. I'm
For the whole year, you and God
Nah.
are good. You on a different spiritual level than me. Baby, I need to be sitting in the pews tomorrow.
Dude, yes,
Mañana.
indeed.
All right, let's end it off with
Absolutely.
with our books that we read and our favorite quotes. I'll start.
Yeah, you should start.
You usually start, but I'll start. My favorite quote. Well, my favorite quote is by Dr. Seuss, and it is, "You have to be odd to be number one." But now isn't that
I
kind of like
that.
witty,
You gotta
right?
be odd to be number
Right,
one.
right. Because what is an odd number? And you gotta be odd. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and then the other one I like is, "You don't need magic when you are the magic." I like that one. And then the book I'm reading right now is The Millennial's Guide to Adulting. Why Did I Sign Up for Life?
Yep.
And that book is by Miss Heather Allen, and it is really amazing. I'm on the second chapter still, the Be Present chapter. So
You taking that one in and just.
I'm taking it. It's a good chapter.
Thank you.
I had a journal and everything on it. You
Ooh,
know,
to make people journal. I'll take that. I'll take
good.
that. I don't have a quote today, so we're just gonna leave that there.
Give me an old quote. You can't rob me of a quote now.
No, because I get talked about my quote.
So let them talk. They're going to talk about you anyway.
You know what?
I'm just saying.
Let them talk. And it be my host. The person you sitting, the closest person to you.
Worst case, give them something to talk about
will
then.
be the one that's going to talk about
No,
you.
real talk. This, for me, and I said this on New Year's Eve, this is going to be the year I give my haters permission to keep my name in their mouth.
Yes. Okay, can I use that?
Yes,
this is going to be the
saying.
year that I give permission to my haters to keep their
No, seriously.
I'm stepping on everybody.
No, you better keep my name out your mouth. No, you have my permission.
Please talk about me because I'm ready.
You have my permission to keep my name in your mouth.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my old true and faithful is an African proverb.
Okay.
It's each one teach one, each one reach one until all are taught.
Okay.
Yeah, I truly walk in that and believe that.
Yeah.
All right.
But I will have a quote on Monday because she's not gonna cover me. And the book I'm reading right now is One True Love, a novel by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
All right. Yeah. Dude, quotes. I got a few of them.
Hey, you done dropped about
Right.
I love it. I can't wait to listen back to
The
this
chump one was
episode.
one of my favorite. I don't remember.
Champs and chumps don't talk alike.
Yeah, that was one of my
They don't
favorites.
say the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. There was one African proverb that was so deep. When lion writes the story. The hunter is the villain. So it's all about who has the pen.
It's always two truths.
That made my
It's
brain.
always about who has the pen.
Yeah.
The hunter is not the hero when the lion has the pen.
Ain't no fun when mama got the gun.
Just saying.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just saying, right? And that's important to write your own novel.
Yep. Write your own story.
Write your own stories, create your own narrative. Because if you allow someone to tell your story from their perspective, they will always get it wrong, and it will be myopic at best. So tell your own story. Tell your own story. All right. Book that I'm reading, Where Have They All Gone?
Okay.
Tom Rainier. And it deals with the reality of the church post-pandemic. Folk have gone and they haven't come back yet.
Nope.
And so where have they all gone? Where have they all gone? And so that's something I'm looking at personally. And as we rebrand what church is and what it looks like, and all those fun things.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool,
Thank
cool. And how can we support you? Shout out your social media. If you have any events coming up, let us know where you're gonna be so we can be there too.
One, just thank you for for allowing me to share on your platform.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
No,
we appreciate it.
It's I appreciate it because as you get older, you get out of touch, right? So even in your age, go talk to some teenagers. Y'all old to them.
Yeah.
Y'all think y'all hip. Y'all think y'all cool. No. So just and I really appreciate that, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you move and you become out of touch
Yeah.
with what's really going on. And so thank you for doing that. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your platform. And that's really cool. Socials is socials. The Dr. Mike Jones on Instagram. I'm getting flamed on Twitter right now, so I haven't been there for a minute. Flame. I'm getting charbroiled.
What you done done? What you done said on there?
I've upset some progressives. I've upset, and rightly so. I've had to do some political things. That many may not understand. But when you look at my total body of work, I'm still that guy.
Sense.
Okay. I still got this.
But then don't get it twisted because I'm still that guy.
Oh yeah.
And so, and it's funny, man, dude, these white progressives is funny sometimes.
Oh Lord.
Because again, you can't be more progressive than the hood.
Yeah.
You can't. There's things that we experience and things that your audience and your people that follow your that we experience that's beyond progressive politics.
Yeah.
You're progressive. No, I'm black, dude. I'm on South Side. I'm in South Richmond. Hey, let's talk there. Y'all want to talk about killing that's going on? Dude, I was just at a homicide scene, a few days before New Year's. Someone set up a little marijuana pop-up spot, and someone came in and tried to rob them. And so that I'm trying to uplift black folk right now because, dude, there's so many things trying to hold us back. So, but again, hey, follow me on socials. Appreciate y'all. But y'all make sure y'all follow them because this is dope. I watch some of y'all stuff. I'm like, oh, that's kind of dope. Y'all got a cool approach to it. And so I just appreciate this time. And I'm a preacher and a politician. So don't give me a
That's
mic.
Crazy.
Don't give me a mic, yo, because it's like, dude, I'm
they tell you
finna
don't
come
mix
with
them,
it.
but he's mixing them.
No, you gotta mix them, man. You gotta mix them.
You need to.
Separation of church and state. No, what that meant. Jennifer McClellan and I talked about this. That was so no one could come over here and establish the Church of England or the Church of America. It wasn't because church couldn't do this and folk couldn't do, because most of the founding forefathers were ministers. They were, right? They just wanted to ensure that we would never have a state-sanctioned church. And that, where you have the Church of England, right? And, where you had their influence, right? And so that's what they didn't want to have happen over here. But no, that's why I let politicians come, speak, let people know who they are, because they may not see them, especially at some of these, the local level, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And peace.
We still live though. We still live.
He said we still live.
We still live though.
We still live.
Oh my God.
This was good.
This was really good.
Thank y'all for having me on. This fun.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
We be trying to have a good time around.